This is something that I've been really thinking a lot about lately. If you want to know what the government is really afraid of, just pay attention to them. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not guns. And just wait for a sec, because this is not going to be some whole long anti-gun thing in the wake of yet another mass shooting. I've noticed things, okay? And this is a fact. Both sides of the aisle are pro-gun. One is just pro-registration of your gun, and the other is like just unfettered access to firearms. The government doesn't care if you have a gun. If you want to know what the government cares about, look at what they don't want you to have. What is the government attacking right now? They're attacking our schools, our education, our history. They are attacking transgenderism, new ways of thinking about ourselves. They are attacking ideas of communism and socialism. They are literally attacking books because the government fears information above all else. This is what you see with the TikTok ban, the Restrict Act. They are going after our ability to inform ourselves and communicate with each other. Why? Because we have to be isolated. We have to fight each other. The government serves one group of people in this country, and it is the wealthy elite. That's not a secret. That's not a secret. How many businesses go to government officials and get laws passed like that, get bills on the floor like that? Can I do that? Can you do that? No single person or small group can do that. We have to do that as a huge collective if we want anything like that done. We only have power when we work together. And so the government spends a lot of time separating us. That's the thing. They're not stupid. A couple people. Most of the people working in the government are not stupid. And the people who are stupid are being used by the people who are not. When they come out and they make arguments that make no sense, when they go after issues that are not important, that's on purpose. Because it's another way to divide us into some group that's fighting another group, and then we don't come together to realize what the real problem is. Transgenderism is a hot button issue. I've got a question for you. Once all of the transgenders are gone, once they're all dead, they're all in jail, or they're all in hiding, what about your life gets better? Do your roads improve? Does your food get less expensive? Does your housing get more affordable? Does your healthcare become more accessible? What changes for you? When they're all gone, when they've successfully eradicated them all, who's next? Who's the next problem we have to get rid of? Is it immigrants? Is it the Black community? Is it women? Is it the Latina community? Is it people with red hair? Is it balding men? Who is it? Who else do we have to get rid of before you feel better about your life? And what will it do? Nothing. Our infrastructure, our economy, our society, our voting laws are not built for you and me. And the worst thing we can do for them is start talking to each other. They need us fighting each other. We can't talk to each other. When we talk to each other, things start to happen. This is the reason the Restrict Act is so important right now. We are in a golden age of communication, especially with apps like this. And a population that talks to each other, that communicates to each other, that listens to each other is an informed population. An informed population is a dangerous population. The government, I believe, not only doesn't care that we have guns, they want us to have guns. Because violence is the language of the state. It's the only language that they speak, and it is a language that they speak more fluently and more effectively than us. They want us to become violent. They're counting on it. They're pushing us towards it. That's why we have billion-dollar police forces. That's why We have $1 trillion military. It's not to protect us. It's not to serve us. It's not to find the person who assaulted you. It's not to get justice for the guy who broke into your car. It's not to keep us safe. It's to keep us in line. I marched in 2020. I marched proudly in the streets, lined with police and National Guard, all armed to the teeth, holding assault rifles with fingers on triggers. They were facing us. Were they there to protect us? No. They were there to protect property and capital. They weren't there to protect us. They were there to kill us. That's why I also don't believe in violent revolution. I don't think it works. For a couple reasons. Number one, the government has been preparing for this fight for literally centuries. Once we try to start a war, we've already lost. The government will institute martial law, and then in international law, they'll say, well, our citizens, they were out of hand. They were rioting. We had to calm everything down. They're dangerous. And suddenly they rewrite themselves as the heroes of the story. And even if by some chance we won, and we overthrew the government, and we put all their heads on chopping blocks, what then? We would be left in unstable chaos. And more likely than not, we would tear each other apart. We have to organize on a ground level. We have to talk to each other, and we have to listen to each other. I know it's hard because there are dangerous people out there, and there are people with very dangerous beliefs, but everything that they are yelling about, every problem that they think they have, is designed to be that way. And if we just met the needs of everybody, we would realize, I think, how few problems we actually have and how many of them are just made up for some game that rich people like to play. We have to connect as communities. We have to take action as people by taking care of each other first. Once we figure out how to take care of each other, we'll learn how to take care of each other in larger numbers. And that will only continue to grow until we have a system ready to replace the one that we're under. And I'm not an expert, and I realize that it's not a simple matter. It's very complicated and something that will take a very long time. And I don't believe it's going to happen in my lifetime. I don't think it's going to happen probably in the next few lifetimes, but we have to plant the seeds now so it starts to grow. And we have to be careful about wanting to rush to violence, because we have to really take in what the impact of that will be, what the consequences of that will be, what a fight looks like, and how it ends, win or lose. Because honestly, I don't see a good ending for us, for anybody. We have to cultivate and grow communities that lead with kindness, empathy, and support. That's what we have to do. And we have to be willing to work for something that we're probably not going to see the full benefits of. In the meantime, there are things within the system that you can use to help fight it, but that's just one part of it. On the other side, we have to be working on the replacement at the same time. There's got to be one ready to go. You got to switch it out, Indiana Jones style, which is probably a bad example because he does trigger the big rock, but you know what I mean. So I would just encourage you in this time where everyone seems to be fighting about every little thing, ask yourself, why am I fighting this? Why am I fighting for or against this? How does this make my life better or worse if this does or does not happen? If the answer is, I don't know, you're probably being manipulated. And hey, that's not judgment. Propaganda from the state is a freaking powerful tool. We've been writing about it for centuries. I know it's hard, and I know it's scary, and I know that things that don't quite make sense to you are scary, okay? I get that. But what I feel deep in my soul, and you can call me naive, but when everybody just tries to lead with empathy and kindness as much as they can, nothing bad could come from that.